Here are my All Blacks player ratings against France. Obviously a really good win for the All Blacks. Maybe a lot closer than they thought it was going to be. But France really did pitch up to play. There was some incredible rugby on show. Probably was the most entertaining game from the weekend in my opinion. I mean, both teams came out to play. Both teams played good rugby. You could see that the All Blacks are building something really good. Of course, it's the first game together. But that being said, the first game together in a while, nearly a year, and scoring tries the way they did with the amount of cohesion there was for some of those tries was absolutely awesome to watch. But before we do get into it, if you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. I really do appreciate all the support. We are nearly at 3,000. The goal is 10,000 by the end of the year. We're trying to push for it, so please help us get there if you do enjoy the content. So let's get right into the player ratings here. Starting off with number 1, I've gone for Ethan de Groot. I've gone for a 7 out of 10. I mean, he was probably the best front row player from the lot yesterday for the All Blacks. He was busy around the field. Of course, he did make a few mistakes, but it is the first game of the season. There are going to be mistakes, but he still was a live wire. He was a good ball carrier. He was playing with aggression and a lot of intensity, and those are the type of things. That's a tick box there for Dave Rennie. Yes, the other sort of mistakes that will go against him, but some of the things that are uncoachable, like the intensity you play with, the work rate you have off the ball, I thought Ethan Groot was really good there yesterday, so a 7 out of 10 for him. He definitely will have ticked that box for Dave Rennie. And of course, I have to mention, these player ratings are player versus player. So Ethan de Groot versus Ethan de Groot. It's not anybody versus each other. So it's me kind of rating Ethan de Groot versus past performances. That's how it's going to work for this. So there might be a few that you think are low compared to others, but it's just because I'm rating them based against some of their best performances I've seen from them in the past. Number 2, Cody Taylor. I've gone for a 6.5 out of 10. Not his best performance by any means, because normally he's very dominant. He's a live wire. He did try hard yesterday. His work rate, you can't deny his work rate. So that's why it's a 6.5 out of 10. So it's an above average score. I mean, that's not bad out of 10. He was decent with his line out throwing yesterday. He was decent around the park. I just think it might be time to give a guy like Asafo Amua a start there to just see what he can do with 80 minutes or 60 or 65 minutes under his belt, because Asafo Amua came on yesterday, didn't really get the ball in hand, but if he did, there would have been a lot of destruction caused by him. So I think we know what Cody Taylor can do now. I think the coaches know that as well. Maybe it's time to start implementing other players, and we did see that in this game, and it's starting to bear fruit for the All Blacks. So 6.5 out of 10 for Cody Taylor. Moving on to number 3, Fletcher Newell, one of my favorite players for the All Blacks. I just like the way this guy plays rugby, but I've gone for a 6 out of 10. Definitely wasn't his best performance. He was a bit quieter than the rest. Couldn't really physically impose himself. Wasn't that much of a live wire around the park. But that being said, still made a lot of tackles as well. Got through a lot of work throughout the game. So a 6 out of 10 for him. But that being said, didn't get dominated at scrum time. These guys held their own at scrum time. The set piece was good. So that's all that really matters, is first of all, they got their fundamental job done. So 6 out of 10 for Fletcher Newell. But now, moving on to the locks, these two guys really impressed me. Josh Lord, 7.5 out of 10, and Sam Darry out of 8 out of 10. I gave Sam Darry an 8 out of 10, 0.5 more. I just thought he was a little better than Josh Lord, but these guys were all over the field. These guys were the key figures in that engine room for the All Blacks against France, doing that hard, unseen, really hard graft on the field. They were hitting rucks left, right, and center. They were making some big hits, big tackles. They were all over the field, and that's what you want to see from those two guys in that engine room in the locks there. I honestly see a lot of potential in that lock pairing there. Of course, Tupou Vaya, I think, was pulled out of the game right before it happened. I'm not too sure what happened there, but those two guys really put in a solid performance, and I fully expect them to start in the big game against Ireland coming up, because those two were really good together. Two big players as well, and I really like that. Those are guys I'm not that sure of. I wasn't sure how they were going to play. I haven't seen them play that much. I haven't really been watching these guys in the Super Rugby that much, because it's a completely different time zone. But that being said, these two guys were really awesome together yesterday. They definitely did take a box for Dave Rennie on his first game for the All Blacks. But moving on to the loose forwards now. Number 6, Peter Lakai. I've gone for a 6.5 out of 10. It was a weird performance from Peter Lakai, because he was forced to be a bit more of a roamer because of a guy like Luke Jacobson being there and working the way he did. He kind of had to play a different role than he normally does for the Hurricanes. Still, we were able to see the skill that he possesses. He's really good with ball in hand, that final pass and then getting the ball back and scoring under the poles. He is a really good athlete. I see so much potential in Peter Lakai. Maybe last year I didn't see the potential. I didn't actually really know much about him before last year, but I see the potential. He's an explosive athlete. He's good with ball in hand, and I do agree that I think he is more of a starter than he would be better off the bench. I think he's much better in the starting lineup. So a 6.5 out of 10, but he's also one of those guys, he never has a bad game. He's always at a 6.5 or a 7, and scoring tries and having some really good touches in the game, always there by an 8 or a 9 out of 10. So a really good performance from him, but still not at his best where we know he can be, so 6.5. Number 7, Luke Jacobson. I've gone for an 8.5 out of 10. A lot of people were criticizing the selection of Luke Jacobson, especially on some of the social medias where I did put the team up there, and my predicted team that did include him as well. He was absolutely awesome. This guy is so physical. He was working all around the park. His work rate was outstanding. I fully expect him to play again in the upcoming games. He's big, he's physical, he's got a big work rate. Of course, yes, those 2 penalties against him where I thought the one was a bit harsh. I thought the one he really did steal the ball there. But that being said, you can just see when the guy's ears bleeding like that 5 minutes into the game, this guy knows how to play rugby, and this guy is a very physical rugby player. I mean, this guy is a really good rugby player. I fully expect him to play a lot more caps for the All Blacks. Just needs to stay injury free. But that being said, an 8.5 out of 10 for Luke Jacobson. He was absolutely awesome yesterday for the All Blacks. Moving on to number 8 and the captain, Ardie Savea. I've gone for an 8 out of 10. A pretty normal Ardie Savea performance. Good carries, good ball carrying, beating defenders left, right, and center. Good on defense, dominant tackles on defense, high work rates as well. So an 8 out of 10 for Ardie Savea. Very good captain's performance, and I do like him as the captain there. You can definitely see that there's a few things he still has to learn about approaching the ref, how he does it, and stuff like that. But you can definitely see the potential of him being a really good captain. So I do like him being captain, and you can just see he still plays the exact same way as captain as he does when he's not captain. A lot of people fall under this trap of when they are captain, they start playing more, trying to focus more on the ref, the decision making, and they kind of takes away from their performance around the field. But not for Ardie Savea. He still played the exact same way with the exact same amount of intensity and aggression, which is absolutely important and integral for this All Blacks team. Now moving on to number 9, my man of the match by far, Cam Roigard. I've gone for a 9 out of 10. This guy on his day is the best scrum half on the world, and I said it in my Ireland player ratings as well. Cam Roigard versus Jamison Gibson-Park, in my opinion, probably right now, based on form, at their best, probably are the 2 best scrum halves in the world, and they're going to be facing off against each other. 2 Kiwis, but born as Kiwis. That's going to be absolutely awesome. Cam Roigard, his sniping is incredible. He sees space that other people doesn't see. His reaction time is incredible. His sniping ability, I mean, he just does things that other people don't even think to do. His kicking game is really good. He's really quick and snappy with his box kicks as well, and he's just becoming a really good, complete scrum half. So 9 out of 10 for Cam Roigard. I'm very excited to see where he can go in his career and where he can go with his fellow number 10, Ruben Love, as a 9-10 combination. I've gone for a 7 out of 10 for Ruben Love. A solid performance from him. You can definitely see that there are a few things that he still has to iron out, but he's a young fly-off here. He's been trusted with the number 10 jersey, in the black jersey, one of the most historic jerseys in rugby. I mean, if you think of some of the other guys, Richie Mo'unga's been there, of course, one of the GOATs, Dan Carter as well. So there is a lot of pressure for any team if you wear the number 10 jersey, but I think if you wear number 10 for the All Blacks, it's going to be even more pressure. So a 7 out of 10 for him. I do like what I saw from him. I would like to see him kicking for the Poles as well, but still, that being said, I did like the game we saw from him. He plays with a lot of confidence, but he still has a few little things to iron out in his game. But that being said, he is building a really good 9-10 combination with Cam Roigard there. Moving on to number 11, Caleb Clarke. I've gone for a 6 out of 10. By any means, not really his best performance, I'd say. I mean, he's normally a lot more dominant, a lot more physical, a lot more better with ball in hand, beating defenders left, right, and center. Wasn't really there in the game yesterday against France. That being said, I really do think Faye Finianganofu needs to start the next game. He looked really good when he came on, and this isn't me saying Caleb Clarke needs to get dropped. I think we know what we're going to get from Caleb Clarke. I think the coaches know what they're going to get from him. A very solid player. Definitely probably is the first choice right now, but I would like to see Finianganofu at least get a start there to just add something new and see what he can do in the black jersey as well, because there's a lot of guys with a lot of question marks over their head, and I think Caleb Clarke probably isn't one of those guys. You probably know exactly what you are going to get from him. Good under the high ball, physical play. He will beat the defender one-on-one as well. So 6 out of 10 for him. Not his best performance, but I fully expect him to bounce back as well. And I fully expect a big performance from Caleb Clarke throughout the season as well, because at his best, he is absolutely outstanding. Now moving on to the centre pairing. I really enjoyed the centre pairing yesterday, but I knew I would. Jordie Barrett and Quinn Tupaia. I've gone for an 8 out of 10 for both of them. The work rate these guys get through, the physicality, the intensity, they're building a really good centre combination, and I'm just really glad that they actually bit the bullet and put Quinn Tupaia at 13 and didn't try someone else there. Quinn Tupaia will learn how to be a number 13, and he's already learning very fast as well. These are two of the players that are probably in the best form right now in the All Blacks team, probably outside of a Cam Roygott. I think these two guys are in some incredible form together, and I think they are going to build a very good centre combination, and they looked really solid against a good centre combination in Yoram Mofana and Fabien Bralbury as well. Those two guys from France pitched up and played a very good game as well. Very different styles of rugby. Those two are very good at beating their defenders, while Geordie Barrett and Quinn Tupaia are very physical, and they just get through the hard yards every single time. So 8 out of 10 for both of those guys. Now moving on to number 14. Almost made him my man of the match, Will Jordan. I've gone for an 8.5 out of 10. One of the best rugby players in the world by far. This guy knows how to score tries. He is nearly the all-time All Blacks try scorer, and he's still in his 20s. I mean, this guy is one of the best players in the world, and I think if he carries on like this, could also be nominated for World Player of the Year. He hasn't won it yet, but I think by the end of his career, he really will have deserved one. And I'd say if he doesn't win one by the end of his career, it'll be one of the best players ever to not win a World Player of the Year award. So Will Jordan, incredible finish there in the corner, incredible work rate, slices through the defense on every single occasion nearly. Good with ball in hand as well. Good with his kicking game as well nowadays. His chip kicks, grubbers, just overall kicking game's gotten a lot better. And I did criticize him not being at fullback, but I do see the value of having him on the wing with Damian McKenzie at fullback. They work really well together. And Will Jordan is a wing, but he's not really a wing. He always works off his wing, kind of gets into the back line as an extra outside center or in the fullback position as well. So he uses his work rate very well to not just be a number 14 hanging out on the wing. He's always working off his wing, and his work rate is extremely high. And you can just see that by the amount of touches he has, the amount of meters made, meters carried, defenders beaten, and tries scored as well. So the stats speak for themselves. He's nearly the all-time leading try scorer for the All Blacks, and I think he will get it done, maybe even before the end of the Nations Championship or by the end of the Greatest Rivalry Tour. So really good performance there from Will Jordan, an 8.5 out of 10. Now moving on to number 15, Damian McKenzie. I've gone for an 8 out of 10. This guy's not a fly half. He's a fullback. I remember the days in 2017 where he was slicing through my Springbok team from the fullback position, and we saw glimpses of that again. He was absolutely awesome in the 15 jersey. Good kicking game. I mean, maybe not for poles that much, but good kicking game yesterday, out of hand. Very calm at the back as well. Very nimble, very agile. You can just see that this guy's so much more comfortable in the 15 jersey. And I just like this backline from the All Blacks. Now, Roygott, Ruben Love, Barrett, Tupaia, Jordan, McKenzie, Clark. These guys are all extremely skillful ball players, and they make it so much easier for one another because almost all of those guys in the team can take first receiver and play make as well, so they can make each other's lives a lot easier. And we saw that with Damian McKenzie yesterday, slicing through the line with the inside ball to Cam Roygott, eventually trying the corner for Peter Laka, I think it was, or for someone in the corner. So a really good game from Damian McKenzie, and I do like the look of that backline. So an 8 out of 10 for Damian McKenzie. Now moving on to the replacements, I'm just going to do it as a whole. I like to do the bench as a whole, kind of rate their impact as a bench unit, as a bomb squad coming on with their impact in the game. For the replacements for the All Blacks, I've gone for a 7 out of 10 for them. I thought they brought a lot of good energy when it was needed. I mean, at that period of the game, France was starting to creep back. They were starting to get the lead. All Blacks would get the lead back. There was no real threatening kind of look from the All Blacks that they were going to pull away. It looked like a 50-50 game. But I thought Xavier Numia on his debut was absolutely awesome. This guy with ball in hand, he looked at home. His first carry was kind of setting up for a box kick. I almost thought Cam Roygott was going to be upset with him because you're kind of trying to stay in his 22, right through the defensive line, made 5 extra meters as well, still weren't back in the 22, so Cam Roygott had to keep the ball infield. But that being said, he was one of those guys that plays with so much confidence. Taro Lomax I thought was decent when he came on. Asafu Amua, I wish Asafu Amua got more touches on the ball because he will be one of the best players in the world if he gets more game time. But that being said, I do like him coming off the bench and the impact he can do, but I thought the whole bench yesterday from the Hurricanes did a good job. I thought Fehi Fanyanganofu was really good when he came on yesterday. I thought same with Billy Proctor as well. So the kind of replacements, the bench from the All Blacks brought that energy, and if they can bring that every single game, they'll be winning games quite comfortably because the way you end a game in international rugby is arguably way more important than the way you start it, because you can always make a comeback throughout the game, but at the end of the game, how you end it off with the intensity, with the energy, and how you play is really what matters most. I mean, we saw it yesterday. Ireland down at halftime, much better second half than the Wallabies. They get the win. Springboks, nearly drawn with England at halftime, much better second half. They won the game quite comfortably. And with the All Blacks as well, they were doing well at halftime, but then after that, France kind of kicked in the second half, but near the end of the game, the All Blacks just came through and looked like the better team. But that is my player ratings against France. Let me know down below in the comments if you agree, if you would disagree, and if you do disagree with some of them, please let me know what you would change, what would be your player rating, so I can know what you're thinking as well, and we can have a discussion about it as well. Thank you so much for all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.